What's going on, everybody? Brent Abel here, webtennis.com with another low-tech issue of 7 Around 7. That young man next to me over there, the great Jeff Jacklich, minor tech issues this morning, and kind of just like tennis, Jeff. I mean, sometimes there's always got to be a workaround, right? It just doesn't happen where the tournament director says, Jeff, you and Brent are on court 8, going out there, you got your 5-minute warm-up, and you go through me love and love like no big deal, right? I mean, it might be like throwing some crappy little, high top spinny loopy stuff to your back, and you're going, oh man, this isn't tennis. What are you doing? And then you have to kind of go through the workaround. So anyway, what's going on, man? What's going on, Jeff?
Well, I'm sorry for the odd angle here, but the whole unless maybe I went this way. Is that?
Well, that's good.
That's better.
That works too.
Okay, hold on. I do this like this. Take it off the keypad. Put this over here. Let's see now. There. That is, the other one's like throwing me off. I feel like I was getting vertigo.
Don't want that. Don't want that. Good. All right. Well, glad that we could do this. So, guys, happy Friday morning, wherever you are. If you're catching us live, maybe on the replay. Hope you're having a great day. Good weekend with tennis lined up. Jeff, what do you got today? What do you got this weekend? You got anything going on tennis?
No tennis today. I just finished up. We had Leon come down from Carmel with his gal Lisbeth, and then Leora Grimshaw came down as well.
Leon and Lisbeth, did they just win the what used to be the Stead, I guess, the Stead mix?
It wasn't Lisbeth. Leon played with one of his high-performance students that he coaches, and they won the Open mixed.
Wow. That's
a big
impressive.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, very impressive. I think Gally played with his 15 or 16.
Good for good for her to have that experience.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
And we're talking about Leon Bax up in the Carmel Valley area.
Carmel Valley, yeah. He has his program is Two Minds. He puts together a whole meditation, concentration, not only meditation, how to do that, but then the application of those elements and how to actually apply it on court. And I think that's a big missing ingredient with a lot of these things out there. You read a book, but how do you actually the actual practical application in the moments that are stressful? That's a little bit of a missing ingredient. And so he's got a program that puts it all together called Two Minds. So there you go. Unsolicited plug, Leon. There you go.
Yeah. Rich Crinks is saying good morning, Brent and Jeff. Lefty.
Morning, Rich. Great job Thursday, man. Great workout. We got some great work done on Thursday. Really good.
Good.
So anyway, Leon and his gal Lisbeth came down, and she's a good player. And Leora Grimshaw, she coaches and teaches up at Harbor Point. She came down, so we played a mixed doubles exhibition on the grass here at Del Rio in Modesto Wednesday night.
Wow.
Split sets, and then we lost 10-7, I think, in the breaker, something like that. It was great fun, great crowd. Just a good time. Everybody engaged in it. Some good banter between us on the court and the crowd.
Nice.
You know the way I like it, right?
That's right. Well, it's Jeff, Mr. Entertainment, Jacklich.
Well, listen, Leon knows how to play show ball. That guy's got amazing feel. The guy's fit off the charts, and it's just he makes it look incredibly easy.
Yeah, good. Good.
So that was good. Yesterday morning, we went out to the courts at 8:00 for an hour and got a great little workout session in. We went through some of Leon's stuff, and then just a good solid hit a few things for about an hour.
Yeah.
And then everybody on their way to the rest of the day. Then I went up to Lafayette yesterday afternoon and got a hold of Rich.
Good.
For an hour and a half, and then Erica Smith as well. So
22-time gold baller, maybe more.
Yeah.
Erica Smith.
Yeah, I think there's more coming. She's been putting in the hard yards, man. And I'm really proud of her. I mean, she's really been doing some great work.
Visual Bill is saying hi.
Visual.
Yes. What's up, son? Yeah. All right. Look, let's get to it. I got to hit the road here at precisely 8:30 Mountain. I'm going to Frisco, Colorado this morning, right next to Breckenridge.
Nice.
Going for a bike ride with my buddy Jim Fullerton from Boulder, and last night I checked the weather, and there was one of those alerts on the weather app that said flash flooding alert.
Yeah. Well, that was Phoenix last night.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Well, it's going to get nasty here in the Rockies. So.
Yeah, I just saw a video this morning out of Phoenix, and it looked like a monsoon. I mean,
well, we need it. We definitely need it. So, well, Jeff, I know you're all lathered up. You've been lathered up for a few days about 3 things that, technique-wise have just been kind of working their way in your craw. You're trying to, work them out. And, it's kind of interesting because I was thinking about it after we talked about what you want to talk about this morning. And really, it kind of gets back to, you can talk about all the tactics in the world, all the strategies in the world. You can talk about, this and that and mental stuff and physical stuff. But it all comes back to these 3 things that if you don't master these 3 things, if you don't put in the time, nothing else really has a chance to work.
Nope.
So it's kind of like, we always want to, it's when I asked Mr. Stowe that one day after I'd been with him for about 6 months. And I started, he was just grinding through these 3 things, and I'm going, dang, Mr. Stowe. And I just so stupid. Hey, when do we get to, the advanced stuff?
Oh my God, did I just say that?
I just said, can I get the words back, please?
Get back in.
And he just kind of looked at me like kind of cross-eyed. I'd never seen that look on his face before. And it was like he was looking at the gate and just kind of going, I'm really thinking about just sending you out there and you never come back. Right. So
did he reach around? Did you reach around like this and go, is this your shoe, Mr. Stowe?
That's right. That's right. So, all right, man, the floor is yours, Jeff.
All right. Well, the things, as when we chat behind the scenes, we can get pretty, out there and a little more colorful in our language and all that good stuff about all the different things that we see out there with, YouTube is a paradise of information, but that doesn't mean the information is always accurate or applicable or does it make any sense, right? And I think there's just so much time spent on the technicality of hitting the ball and all the micromanaging and the brushing up and the windshield wiper and just the words. And, and then seeing all the, basically clickbait topics, hit your return to serve, like whoever, in these, 14 easy steps or whatever it is. And so sometimes as I read through them, because it also, I find it fascinating to read this stuff and to kind of look at it and kind of go, okay, so where's this guy coming from? What's he trying to get at here? And really, is this applicable to the average, let's say, league player or, senior players that are trying to get over the hump and make it into the round of 16 and into the quarters and actually maybe be in the hunt for at least a bronze, right? And what always comes down to is this romantic idea that you can hit your forehand like Roger Federer. You can hit your return to serve like Djokovic. You can do something like somebody. And the reality is, no, you can't. Never in a million years, right? And the harsh reality is because there are 3 things that everybody kind of leaves out. They kind of brush over it. And unless you can master these 3 things, and when I say master, I mean it has to be the front end of everything you do on top of it. If we can't do these 3 things consistently, the discipline of doing it over and over and over again, so it's repeatable, and is it sustainable? Have you done it enough where that part of the process is automatic? Because if it isn't, it doesn't matter what the rest of your technique looks like or what you want it to look like. it will never be sustainable because you're not capturing the same preparation point every freaking time. And that is the beauty of what you're watching. When you look at a Fed, a Djokovic, and a Rafa, let's just take those three, very identifiable in terms of the way they hit their forehand. Let's just pick the forehand. They are using each one, they're using the exact same list of ingredients. They're using them in the exact same order. They are expressing them athletically differently. However, you'll never see Fed hit his forehand like Djokovic. You will never see Djokovic hit his forehand like Rafa. You will never see Rafa hit his forehand like Fed. And make any exchange in there you like. They can mimic each other, but when it comes down to the match play, forehand's Federer in the first set looks identical to his forehand in the fifth set. And these three elements are why. And that is, we kind of brush over your ready position. And if that's not consistent, you then cannot make a consistent turn, unit turn. I like to call it a framework because that visually, for me, I find the students that I coach find that they understand what that's a framework. It's not a thing that happens with extending your arm or taking your racket back independently. So I always say, make a framework turn. So we've got a ready position that has to be consistent. We've got a framework turn that has to be consistent. Once you've done those two things, now you must maintain that position. You've got to maintain that framework while you're capturing your spacing to the ball. That is how you get your spacing right. So without those three elements, I don't care how long you've been standing there next to the ball machine. I don't care how many hours the guy in front of you has been pitching you balls. None of that is sustainable when it comes down to actually playing without these first three elements. So I can tell you for a fact, when I go out to hit a ball, and literally every time I go out to hit a ball, whether I'm warming up with a student, warming up, you and I warming up on the grass, Brenny, and you know this because we've chatted about it, I go through this little routine of just understanding, like, let's push the hands out a little bit. Let's feel my core make that unit turn, make that framework turn. Okay, let's hold those hands up and out while I'm adjusting my feet. And this is just happening slowly. We're doing it even in the short court. But those three elements, those are the keys to the kingdom. And I can't say it any other way than that. They're the keys to the kingdom to whatever technique you choose or style you choose to hit your forehand with or backhand with or volley with, whatever it is. If you can't, repeat those three items identically over and over and over again, and this is where the mind-numbing repetition comes into play. It's hard work. It's mind-numbing work. It's irritating work. It's frustrating work. It's every other adjective you can think of to put on that list. It's that type of work. But the payoff is huge. And I can't stress that enough. Rich knows that we've gone through this. We come back to it every so often. We keep coming back to it, and then he has a better understanding of it as well. That next time we push that point on the ladder of success here, every time we come back to it, he jumps a little bit more because now he understands the integration of it into everything, and he sees how it bleeds into everything else. So this isn't something that you're going to capture on day one or, in 2 weeks, you're going to have it. This is what we call maintenance work. This is something you keep your eye on and keep tabs on all the time. Yeah. There's my rant.
Yeah, no, it's good. That's good. And as you're talking, I'm coming up with questions, not only for players, not only for coaches, and I think in general in the tennis instructional world and players who've been around for a while, they all know this stuff. They've heard it a million times. How important the ready position is, how important the turn is, how important the spacing is, right? And for coaches, I think the big challenge is, well, how do I continue to make sure that my students are ingrained with these habits. Really what coaches are trying to do is trying to create really good habits in their students, right? And so how do you do it without making it boring, where you don't have someone like me who goes, hey, coach, when are we getting to the good stuff? And I remember, speaking of Mr. Stowe coming, I would always come back to the BTC, Berkeley Tennis Club, on a Wednesday after spending 3 hours with him, with the other guys up there in Napa. And I was so eager to, whatever I learned that day Mr. Stowe had an assistant back in the day, Bill Crosby, who became he was ranked 1 in the country, I think in the 60s, with Bobby Perez in doubles. But he was kind of at the club at the BTC. He was always kind of watching me, right, during these 18 months that I spent with Tom. And I'll never forget, I'm on court 4 one day, and I'm just launching balls all over, the club. I've got no idea what we worked on in the morning, right? I think my interpretation is just so confused. And so he's walking, there's that path between courts 4 and court 5.
Right.
In the club, and he'd been back in the back courts hitting with someone. He's walking back very slowly, and he sees me launch one, and he just kind of, he kind of smiles. And I go over to him. I said, Bill, God dang it, what do I need to do? And he said, and Crosby just had this great delivery. I can't do it, but anyway, he just he said, well, you got to do 2 things. I said, okay. Well, he said, first of all, you got to get into the correct hitting position instantly, right? You have to, if the ball's on your right or the ball's on your left, whatever your forehand, whatever your backhand is, as soon as you recognize, you just get into the hitting position, the correct, not just a sloppy hitting position, but the correct hitting position immediately. I go, okay, I think I can do that. All right. And then what, Bill? And then it says, and then just decide where you want to hit it. And I go, okay, is there anything else? And basically, Jeff, what the hard part of that was, what I finally discovered was, oh, I see. I've got to work on the first part. I have got to really work on my ready position, balance, posture, so that I can come out of it quickly, on balance, and ready to move my feet to create the spacing that I need away from the distance. Away from the path of that incoming ball. Right. So
that's exactly it. The other side note here in this equation is that all this has to happen at minimum before the ball bounces on your side. And so the mystery here, the critical part here, is that the ball doesn't come over the net at the same speed every time. And a big sticking point or blind spot for a lot of players is because this idea of a good ready position, preparation framework, maintaining it while you're adjusting to the ball, because that's not disciplined, players tend to use the pace of the incoming ball as the timing device for all of this stuff. And the problem with that is that every incoming ball is coming in at a different speed. I can tell when I'm playing a guy who the ball is their metronome, for their timing device. And the minute I see that, it's like, oh boy, this is going to be fun. I'm going to roll, I'm going to chip, I'm going to slice, I'm going to crack a ball solid, because he's just going to be jerking all over the court. He's going to be a yo-yo. I'm in command of what's going on now, because he's letting the ball dictate all the most important elements of his stroke production. So the key here is that this stuff has to be done before the ball touches the ground on your side. And that's the mind-numbing practice, because mentally it's very it's exhausting.
Yeah.
To do it ahead of the ball every time, because you can't think about anything else. And so you should be in a situation when you do this, when you practice it for the first time, just do it hitting rally pace balls or just below standard rally pace, a 65% ball, a 60% ball, and just hit forehands cross court, or just hit backhands cross court with somebody who's going to be cooperative with you. And what you'll find out is like, oh my gosh, I've got to do this way faster than I've been doing it. And the other thing I want to say is you can't look at a Fed, a Djokovic, or Rafa and say, oh, they're not doing it. BS. The subtlety is they've mastered it. So for them, just the subtlety of you seeing the shoulders start to rotate around, they've just loaded the gun. It's done. When you've mastered it, you can actually start to take liberties with it, because now it's this tool. It's a bullet in the chamber, and you can adapt to any situation with it, which means, Rafa doesn't hit the buggy whip every time. It's very specific when he does that. The incoming ball is hitting a certain part of his strike zone. There's a certain thing that's going on when he hits the buggy whip forehand. That doesn't happen every time. So you become very adaptable to the incoming ball, and having that adaptability allows you to start to hit the ball. Like, why does it always look like Federer's hitting the ball from the favorite spot in the strike zone? Because he is most of the time. Because he's ahead of what's going on. He can take that last little adjustment, half a step up to the ball, that moves the ball this much higher in the strike zone where he likes it. Yeah. And then the next ball, it might be a half a step back.
Well, look, Yeah, I think, two things. Number one is that instant prep actually creates disguise. Totally. And because, like you were telling with a player that you love to play against, who times his turn based on the speed of the incoming ball, pretty much it kind of telegraphs what's probably coming out of that guy's racket. The instant prep, you can disguise different types of shots depending on whatever is the instinct that comes to your brain. And I think the other thing is that a reference would be, and I found this with return to serve. And I'm just shocked at watching these guys on TV. Someone's pumping in 133, and Fed's like, really?
Ho-humming it back.
Ho-humming it back. And yet, when a guy's cracking it at 130 and he serves it into the net, take a peek at where the returner is at that point.
Right.
He's probably, if he's not fully committed to the right or to the left, he's darn near on his way. And so I would tell you this, guys, that one way to check to see how quickly you're getting turned is when someone serves into the net, see where you are. Just kind of freeze right then and there and see where you are. And I like to do it, and I go, oh, I need to go a little bit more. You can certainly do that on a ground stroke as well, and I would do that in a practice situation. Your practice partner hits the ball in the net. How fully committed are you to the turn when that ball goes in the net? So, Jeff, great stuff. I got to scoot, man. I got 2 minutes. I got to be out the door. Yeah. So look, guys.
I'll jump in and say this one thing.
Yeah.
Djokovic is obsessed with his ready position on return to serve. When they close in on him, you see him doing this thing. He's checking his hands, his racket. He does this little thing. He loops his eyes, and you can see him do it. Dun, dun, dun. He's checking whatever his checkpoint list is. You can see him check it over and over and over. He's obsessed with it. Wow, I wonder why he's the best returner on the planet right now.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know, just a thought.
It could be.
Anyway.
All right, well, guys, a couple things. Listen, thanks for hanging out with us today with Jeff. If you loved what you heard today, would love for you to click the like button and a share button or whatever buttons are there other than the thumbs down button. Why would you click that one? Right. What else? As you guys know, I've got a new course that I just unveiled yesterday. Let's take that standard, boring, ho-hum topper forehand rally ball and let's kick it up a notch, Jeff. Let's make it offensive, right?
Yeah.
Down below in the description there is a link that will take you to where you can get full details on what's in the course. I've also got 3 kind of gift bonus courses in there as well. Sweeten the pot, sweeten the deal on it. The price is ridiculous. And all that is good until this Sunday night at midnight Pacific. And then next week, maybe not the same deal. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today, Jeff. As always, man, you should be a permanent guest, dude.
All right, well, let's come up. I'll think of
We'll
something
just have to get the tech
next,
stuff
for
right.
next
As
week.
soon as we get your tech thing right, then we'll make you a permanent guest.
Well, the iPad seems to be working way better than the laptop on this deal. So
no, it's good. It's good. Yeah. So, all right, guys, any questions, any comments down below in the comments area, let me know. You can always shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. As always, at this time, we got to get out there. We all, not just me and not just him, everybody. We got to get out there, help someone else have a great day. Guys, I will see you again next time.